you can be on the radio.
Do you know where the remote is? I looked all over the house.
Slow down, Tito. Slow down, Tito. Damn! Is that my that's sitting on the curb?
Hey guys, how's it going? Again, welcome back to Transparency with Robert Smith. Before we dive into today's episode, I just have to let you guys know how my day and week's going. First and foremost, newsflash, in California right now, it is fucking hot. It is a little bit warmer than usual, but you know what? It's really good because we haven't had heat in a while. And I mean, Nate, can you just relate to that? Like it just being totally hot right now?
Monday and Tuesday did surprise me with the heat.
It did cool down today.
A little bit.
Thankful for that.
Yeah, it was really gloomy in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I was thankful for that because the heat was surprising, and it's not like it was a weird musky hot heat.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what.
But you know what? We haven't had a heat, it being June. Like this is the first time I've ever been hot all year. Actually.
Oh yeah.
So it's really good. So if anybody's listening outside the state of California, just please know that people in California always talk about the weather. It's a thing. We talk about when it's raining because we don't get a lot of rain. We talk about weather, snow. Oh my God. Don't let it snow near Los Angeles.
And people will go crazy.
It's a news flash. Like seriously. So yeah, so just that's something that we casually talked about. So that's going on during the week. Overall, everything's been really good. Nate, I know you have something in your corner that you're currently going through. Do you want to share with your listeners today?
I wouldn't mind. You know, this is the Spacekaiju Podcast Network, and you know it's me and you right now.
Yeah.
And I've actually shared it on the Weekly Tea, another show on the network.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as the days go on, that was Tuesday, and you know I'm still going through what I'm going through.
Uh-huh.
And I told you about it, and you really did. You really were there for me, along with a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And this is me talking about the passing of my dog,
Mm-hmm.
of 13 years old, Emma, my Hershey's, the only piece of chocolate that never raised my blood sugar at all. I told her I'm gonna continue to tell that joke. Honestly, I've just been literally with the weather. I've been along with it a hot mess. Honestly. I've been going through like crazy emotions, something that I've never really gone through before.
Let me ask you, what's pushed you to just keep going? Because either, you know, if it's a death of an animal, it can kind of equal to a death of a family member. How do you keep pushing?
Right now, the way I'm going by it is, like, I'm not trying to like keep her out of my head, because I'm not like trying to forget about her. And if I do catch myself trying to forget about her, like to get away from the pain, like I'll get angry, but I keep it inside.
Yeah.
But right now, what's really keeping me going, and it's honestly, and from last week's show, I know I was like really like crapping on like social media a lot, but this is one positive that I took out of the social media. I made you commented on the post. It was just like a little montage of like pictures of me and Emma, and there's a lot. There's more than that.
Yeah.
I've already created a whole album of videos. I'm making a whole YouTube video right now, in the process of making a whole YouTube video. So I made that. I posted it on Instagram, and honestly, everyone from families, you know, like friends, even people that I did not expect to like Bree. Like I honestly did not expect her, you know. But anyone that commented, like it helped my heart.
That's good.
Like I feel still broken. And better than Tuesday and Monday, because I felt broken, but also like my heart was hurting, but my physically I was hurting everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm really proud of you. You look great.
Yeah, better than the past
I'm happy
couple
that
days.
I can be here to support you as a friend, and for someone that's going through something like that, if I just seen you, I wouldn't have seen that, and that just takes a step in life of healing. So I'm really happy for you. Continue to do what you got to do, and know that we're always here for you. We love you. I love you. So you're going to be okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Today's subject is going to be more of a serious tone. I think last week was very playful, a lot of fun, but the topic today is how have drugs affect your life? This one is, we're going to have a lot of episodes, and of course, we're always going to be transparent. This is going to be the most, my heart's racing right now. This is going to be the most vulnerable I've ever been. Personally, drugs have affected me in a negative way a lot. I personally, well, we're not going to dive too much, but I'm just letting you guys know this is going to be a very unique light that you guys get to see in me. I don't share this a lot. Like only a handful of people, literally like a handful of people might know we're going to talk about how drugs affected my life. And I'm really excited for you guys to listen to. So keep it locked. I'll be right back. And again, stay tuned. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, guys? This is my new podcast, Transparency, Robert Smith, with everyday conversation with everyday people. I'm so excited. This is going to be a really good episode. I'm here with my friend, Kevin. Kevin, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm copacetic.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
I can tell you're wearing a pretty yellow shirt.
I am. Like, is that a bird? Plane? No. A sun? No, it's just Robert walking down the street. That's how bright it is.
I feel that's how my hair is all the time.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Speaking of hair, it's like such a rare moment when you see your hair because you stay wearing caps.
Well, yeah, that's because I haven't had a haircut in like.
Oh, I thought for a second
weeks.
you were like Captain America or something. You know? Get it?
No.
Okay. Moving on.
White thing or something, or what? You trying to say something?
Moving on to the topic. Are you ready for our topic today?
I'm ready.
You want to shoot it to what's it about today?
Yeah, what's it about today?
We're going to talk about how drugs affect your everyday life or affect you in general. Compared to other episodes, we're going to shot one. Compared to other episodes, this is going to be more a serious tone. But I'm really excited to have you, out of all people, to be here, just to kind of share this moment and
We'll see how serious this is going to be.
Okay, I don't know, man. I just feel like with you just bring out the gooey out of me. You know, I just like
gooey.
Yeah. But you're good. You're excited. How was your week?
Yeah.
Recap anything special? Or what?
Good. Today's my Friday.
Your Friday on a Thursday, man.
Well, you know this,
man. They don't know this.
You know this stuff.
I did.
Oh. Thank you.
Oh man. So that's really good. You get to relax tomorrow, Saturday. Got any plans for the weekend or what? I heard that there was this one guy throwing a party. I don't know if you.
I don't know. I heard it like about 4 or 5 times. To be honest.
Kevin's like,
Something
Robert,
like
this is the 5th time you told me. I can't wait to see Nathan there.
So what is it? Friday or is it Saturday? Because you keep changing shit up.
Nathan, what day is it?
Saturday?
What time is it?
You actually didn't tell me
You
that.
want me to pull out this text message that he sent me yesterday?
He didn't send me a text. He just told me in person.
I told you.
Look at this.
Pull it out. Pull it out.
Pulling it out right now.
So
Pull it out.
he's reaching in his pocket and he is pulling out a.
So you can see this.
He's getting
Let
the
me
receipts
see
right
this
there.
right here. All right.
Pending.
Damn. Hey guys, so kick back at my house this Friday. Bring some food or drinks if you want. We will be barbecue.
You get what I'm trying to say, bro. I'll be at work. So let's just dive. Saturday, man. I'm ready.
Right.
Good. All right, let's dive into this, man.
All right.
We're gonna be telling a backstory about how drugs affect our life. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I always let my girls go first.
But you're my guest, so
you want me to go first? All right.
You need to go first.
Should I go first?
Of course.
Bro,
you need to set the
Is it going to
stage.
be transparencies with Kevin Palford or what?
Oh man, comes on for 5 seconds and he's taking over the show. That's funny.
I know I'm pulling a Paolo right now. Or
Man,
what?
you are, man. And
Shit,
shout out
my
to
bad.
Paula. She did a great job last week making everybody laugh with her crazy obnoxious. And she's a lot smarter than a lot of people think. So props to her.
Than a lot of people think. In the shade.
Moving on.
Pretty smart.
At Paula_. So, how drugs affect lives. Drugs definitely played a big role in my life, particularly. A lot of people don't know, and this is just me being transparent. I was actually born with drugs in my system. I was actually premature about a month early or a couple of weeks. Didn't expect it. Actually, the backstory of that, my mom was a drug user from an early age since she was about maybe like late teens to early adulthood. And one thing about my mom, she didn't have a mental illness. She just couldn't sleep. And, in the Black community, mental illness is like either you're just crazy or you're normal. There is no in between. So the exposure of how to give better help for her wasn't too knowledgeable back in that day. So with her, it was kind of like she's okay, So with her doing that, I believe that she used drugs to cope and fell into this spiral of a different world. So my mom's drug of choice is cocaine, and I've never told anybody. So she chose to do that, and unfortunately, she met my dad and even after she found she's pregnant, she was still used. So I was premature early, drugs in my system, pretty radical. I was very skinny as a kid, like skinny, like Nathan Torres skinny,
Oh gosh.
uncut skinny.
Damn shade.
And so,
You don't look bad.
Thank you.
He works out now, so
I do. I've actually been putting in work. I'm actually
Yeah.
going to the gym after this.
That's
hey,
what's
show
up.
them guts, bro. Just
That's
got,
what's up.
bro.
Right now?
Yeah, you didn't want to.
Damn.
Oh,
Damn.
dang.
All right, chill out.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's a Nathan Torres. So with that, as a kid, I was very skinny. I actually developed somewhat of an eating disorder, and I was also, I not that if it was drugs, but I was actually heavy medicated as a kid, due to like different hyperactive disorders, or I believe this all came from a toe of that, and it was just something that still affects me in my everyday life. Just having to carry that issue. And also, if you guys have guessed it, if someone is like that, I wasn't necessarily raised with my mom as well. So it's like all these things have like a domino effect, and from one choice, and it's really played a toll on my life, and it's not the prettiest thing.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's deep.
There's
You know what's really ironic is me and your stories are actually pretty the
Oh,
same.
really?
Yeah, pretty similar. So I mean, me myself, I was also born premature,
Oh,
about
snap.
2 months.
2 months.
2
Dang, you
months,
got me,
yeah.
bro.
About 2 months. Drugs in my system because my mother was also a user herself.
Can I
she-
just
she was
ask, was there a
20,
choice?
so, I mean,
she was 20.
She was 20. Yeah, she's a youngin. And yeah, she had drugs in her system. I got born, but luckily my grandma was in my life. She's like my real mom.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my grandma.
Ooh, grandma.
And
power.
yeah, she's like, she was the reason that I turned out the way I am. But yeah, born premature. Just like you, my mom wasn't in my life either. Like
Mhm.
I have no resents to her. nothing with resentment or any kind of
Yeah.
remorse or anything.
Yeah.
But she's just not really my mom. She's more of just like a birth giver to me.
And I think for me, God, talking about these make me tad emotional. Nathan, when we were in there, like someone called me. It was actually my birth mom, and
Really?
yeah, so I rejected it twice.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
Does she call you often?
every so often, and even to this day, I have this built-up animosity towards her. I find that sometimes when I talk to her, I just get so angry because I think about there's certain things like she's expecting, like she's like, one time you mentioned we'll go out because she's in an adult group home because she's not able to live on her own, and I told her that, but a part of me just gets so angry because I felt like she feels entitled for me to help her in these ways, and I get so mad because I want to say like, where were you at my whole life, or where were you at, because I was raised by a woman who raised her, and a woman that raised me is now 98, and even though she raised me and I was considered my mom, her being older, I didn't really connect with her. Like, she's my mom, don't get me wrong, but I don't believe that she was really there in a mother way. Like, she couldn't play that role being so older. Even like your grandma, like, it's just, I don't know. There's still an underlying detachment of love there that she could give. It was still like this barrier. She was affectionate. She raised me. She did the best she could, but I still feel like I don't have a mother.
Well, yeah, she sounds like she was a lot older. I mean, my grandma, she looked so young. People thought she would be my mom.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, she right now she's like 63, 64, I believe.
Yeah.
She's fairly young,
Yeah,
and
that's
she's
really
not
young.
even my biological grandma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, she.
That's a good grandmother that
Yeah.
that she came in. Actually, I have a grandmother that is not my biological grandmother.
Yeah.
She's actually she married my grandfather after the passing of my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's how mine was too.
And she's she's an Egyptian goddess. That's what I like to call her. She is the most nicest person you will ever meet. I grew up with her.
Yeah.
So I
that's
I
what's up.
appreciate when someone who comes into your life, they don't necessarily
They
have to
don't
be
have
your
to.
grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
but they come in in this role that impacts you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, even my dad and my stepmom that lives with him and stuff. They even say like, because my sister turned out the complete opposite, and
Yeah.
the main difference was that I was more around my grandma. Like, I lived with her from time to time,
Uh-huh.
and she was always like a really important factor. Like, don't get me wrong, in both of our lives, but
Uh-huh.
like more so, like me and her always had like a special connection.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah, like my real grandma died before I was even born in a car accident that her and my grandpa got
sad.
in. And so I never knew her before. So when I was born, she was essentially my grandma.
Yeah,
like,
me and you both. My grandmother
So-
passed away before I was even
Yeah.
born. She met my sister, but not me.
Yeah. So I mean, thank God for that. And even like my grandma, all the time, she'll text me. She'll be like God put you in my life, or like
That's
she blessed
amazing.
me with
It's beautiful.
you, like, and she really makes me feel like really important.
That's good.
Like, yeah.
Now you mentioned something about your sister. You guys being a complete opposite. Do you
Yeah.
want to elaborate a little bit on that?
I mean, I love my sister, but she's the complete opposite of me. Complete opposite. Like I'm more of like a mellow. I wouldn't say introverted,
Uh-huh.
but I wouldn't necessarily say that I am like very energetic either. Like I'm kind of, I don't know, just kind of coasting.
Monotone.
Not monotone, but
No?
more like
No, I
just-
agree. My sister and I, I have other sisters, but I have one blood sister,
yeah.
and we're almost two different planets. And
But I believe it's nurture over nature. That's the thing, is that
She's
we
just so
both
much
came from the
stronger than me.
same. We came from the same dad and mom, but again, my upbringing and hers weren't the complete same because of how we were brought up, who we were around more,
uh-huh.
and now she, has a kid. She's still on drugs. I talked to her like last week. She's getting off of it. She knows she messed up, but still, she's not going to school anymore. Like, she was doing really good, and then
How old is your sister?
she's a year younger than me.
And
I'm 24.
so your
So she's
sister's 23.
Mm-hmm.
She has a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that she comes from a drug mother,
Mhm.
that didn't hit
And
her.
the worst thing about it was, like, when she had the kid and everything, she was always like, "Oh, I'm never gonna be like her. Like, that we, grew up like this, and I'll never be like that because we went through it."
Yeah.
And it sucks, like, watching her and seeing her just turn out the exact same way. And my grandpa and my grandma, like, they say the exact same thing. They're like, "She's exactly like your mom." Like, and it sucks because they would know. They watched my mom, like, grow up and stuff, So that sucks because me, myself, I know that I would never, like,
Mhm.
be like that. And I thought that she would too. I had so much faith that, like, when she had the kid, I was like, she's going to be the best mom. Like, she's
Mhm.
never going to be like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then she turned out like that. And I was like,
That-
man, that
oh my gosh.
is
That's
rough.
crazy. Oh my god. Sorry. I mean,
You about to cry right now?
I just
His
like
eyes are all tearing up
it's
right now.
so
My
that's
bad,
like
man.
really that makes me really emotional. I just felt like complete opposite. My mother was my motivation to, like, sorry, I'm crying, guys. I never done drugs because of her. And I feel like I never want to be like her. And
Well, I wouldn't say that drugs makes the person, because it doesn't.
It doesn't.
it doesn't, but that's been my inspiration.
Sure.
And I know it's really weird to say, but I felt like because I seen someone do that in my life, I felt like that will open a door for me to spiral and make wrong choices. And
Nah.
I mean, it's,
I think you have a lot more self-control than you
Oh,
give
yeah.
yourself credit for, because you could say I should be predisposed for that as well, but I don't have an addictive personality to anything.
Mhm.
Like I can drop anything that I want to if I set my mind to it. Like
Mhm.
I've gotten, like, I've never been like, well, I've been chunky before, like, growing up, but I've never been like fat, and I always made sure that was just something I was like, I'll never be fat, I'll never be too skinny, like, I want to be like, like, just fit, like, always. And I made that self, and I've gotten, like, chubby before, and as soon as I see it, I'm like, all right, I'm stopping eating. Like, I'm not addicted to food, I'm not addicted to anything, because when you're addicted to something, you need it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is it's more of a personality than anything, because you can't say that, like, a drug addiction is necessarily different from a food addiction,
Mhm.
because the symptoms are different, the reactions are different, but it's the same thing. It's more a habit or something that you're doing that you can't
Yeah.
do without.
Wow. That was woke as fuck. Wow. All right. Well, this wraps up. No. Wow, that was really good. First and foremost, thank you so much for just sharing that back end story. I know, for me, sharing this isn't easy for me, so I just like.
Nah, it's not.
Gotta
much.
give you props like with that. I think, for me, like
Doesn't define you.
it doesn't define
It makes
me.
you. It just makes you
You know what's funny,
stronger.
Kevin? I
To
like
be honest.
everything you're sharing. You would never. I know this is weird to say, but people will never assume that about you. And I know, like, how do you know someone like does that? But it's just like everything you're saying. It kind of doesn't still make sense because who you are. I just can't see that ever happen to you. You're someone that I hate because you're such a positive person. You're always in a good mood and you always smile. You're just like a well-rounded guy, and he's single, ladies. So, and so, yeah, like I'm just like, man, like I would never guess that, and that's really like inspiring to hear. It makes me feel pretty happy that I know that someone is not too far in the situation that I'm in, and I think all these things I think in my head, it's okay, like to see, like you can still be normal, Not to
Sure.
say that I'm not normal, but
You're not normal.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say it.
I'll
say
it. I can definitely
You're
say
not
that.
normal.
All right, man. We're gonna take a break right now, and when we back, we're gonna go ahead and dive into our fishbowl. Stay tuned, guys. Keep it live. And we back, and we back, and we back, and hey. And so we're back, and yeah, we just had a little intermission. We try to do that, take a breather,
Yeah.
just chill. Back
Check,
to our
check.
check. Back to our subject at hand. How have drugs affect your life? Now we got a little more backstory of both of
Well.
us. That was good, huh?
Huh?
We got a little backstory about us, which is really cool. I wanted to ask you, man. So, like, knowing all that we went through, like, still, like, with our background, how do you still think that affects you today, though?
Today?
Yeah, like, not today, but, like, yesterday.
Today, 6/13, 2019. All right, got you. Nah, I mean, when it comes to today, I don't feel affected by it anymore. Again, like that stuff, it doesn't define who you are. Like obviously your parents, for some people, you have a connection with. With mine, it's a little different. Like my mom, I don't connect with her.
Mm-hmm.
I have no resentment towards her. She did what she did, like whatever, that's cool. But her consequence is that she doesn't have me in her life. Like and she can feel sad about that if she wants to, but
Do you know the whereabouts of your mom?
yeah, no,
Okay.
I know where she's at, and she could contact me if she wanted to, but there'll never be that connection like with what has been replaced with, like, with my grandma. So I mean, it's just free will is really what, like, I believe in. People have the choice to do what they want to do, and you can voice your opinion, and you can sound as logical as possible, but that person has to want it too, and have to actually have that open mind to actually, like, take it into consideration.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I didn't let drugs like that affect me. Them doing drugs. I've done drugs. I mean,
What have you done?
I've done a few. Tried a few.
What's a little fruit? Give me the good stuff. I want the hardest stuff.
The hardest
Yeah, I want
stuff?
the hardest
Heroin. Nah, I'm
Bro,
just kidding.
oh
Never.
my gosh.
Nah, that's crazy. Nah, I mean, I've done, like, Molly before.
Molly. And for
Yeah.
those who know, Molly is like rolling, correct?
It's MDMA.
Okay. I don't know what I'm
That's-
talking about, so maybe you can.
I mean, yeah, when you're on it, it's called rolling. But yeah, I've done Molly before. Shrooms.
Shrooms.
Shrooms is
And
pretty
how
nuts.
would you say that they differ from each other, the effects
Oh,
to it?
crazy, dude. When you're on Molly, it's like, I mean, it's a, excuse me, that's like, you're more uppity, like
Mhm.
more,
Molly, yeah.
you just feel like super, like, I want to say, like, just super not into yourself,
Mhm.
but you have so much, like, confidence
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, you could do
Oh, wow.
anything, is what you feel like.
Okay.
Like, and you just have, like, it's just crazy. Like, I've also, with shrooms, though, it's like, it's different. That's a psychedelic. So
Okay.
you're more, like, visually going through stuff. And
Was
seeing
that a
stuff.
consistent thing that you done, like with shrooms? Did you have
No,
consistency?
I've only done
Done it
shrooms once.
And
yeah.
so let's
was
break it down. So we
random.
have shrooms, Molly, and I'm assuming weed, right?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just
a
nothing
little-
before
just a
camping or
little bit.
anything.
Nah,
Okay.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
For me, I've never done not one drugs, and like I mentioned, I always use what I've come from. I always say this, me being someone who didn't have his mother because of drugs, I would never do that. And I get a I'm born and raised in Crenshaw. It's not the best. Yeah. And so Nipsey Hussle recipes. So when I grew up, I was low key ashamed of where I'm from, just because everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
Like no, and I'm being 100. Like like just growing up in the system, growing up with the detachment of family, drugs, and the bad schools environment. I did not want to be a product of my environment. And even when I speak, I have this like I'm not associated. There are limitations, but now I've learned to just be more content and just really accept who I am and where my past come from. But I wasn't always like that because.
Well, don't you think it's better to be that guy from Crenshaw who made it?
Who made it, right? Yeah, I mean,
than some dude who didn't do anything for himself.
I can definitely I'm not gonna be honest. It was a process getting there. I'm content in my life right now where I am. Can say where
you
I'm
don't
at.
want to be the next Nip Hussle?
Then I don't because I don't go out. I mean I just see my mom out there who raised me, but I love Crenshaw and I do love that people in certain pedestals enlighten the environment. That it can bring some positive to it. That's what I'm going for, and now I can say that I am from there without feeling hesitant or feeling concerned about other people, but also not thinking about the pain that I'm trying to get away from it there as well, because that's more of the reason why there wasn't this claim or things like that. There's a lot of things that I went through as a child that I feel like a lot of people didn't go through, and I try to keep that all in one place, so I'd rather just get away from there.
Dude, you would honestly benefit from doing like acid or shrooms.
Shut up.
I swear to God.
Bro, don't even go there, bro.
I swear.
I'm never going to do
surprised. That. It just makes you have a different perspective on stuff, on just life.
I'm okay.
I'm serious.
I'm okay.
Serious. You know that there's been studies on this.
Really?
That people that they've considered this about like people that especially are with terminal illnesses, that it helps them accept death and have a different perspective on it. And they're thinking about getting it like like they've already decriminalized it in Colorado and in Oakland. They decriminalized mushrooms as well.
But that's interesting. I particularly when I'm partaking it, I'm very fine as I am.
I'm not. No, I mean you're cool, but I'm just saying. I mean, look at what you're saying about how you're feeling. I just think.
Well, that's good because you don't have to go to drugs first to find.
You don't have to.
I mean, there's a lot of ways. I think for me,
have you gone to drugs?
No,
then I think you haven't gone to drugs first,
okay,
have you?
Chill, bro. Because the pressure, you need to go watch a Dare program or something. Cause
Dare, take it back to 2005 or what?
Well, for me, like, I guess to find my like peace, serenity. I definitely turned to church, being actively praying and connecting with others who have found a higher power. And just kind of like really falling back to God has really filled a lot of voids in my life, in my heart, especially my back end of like becoming someone who's done drugs.
Filling your back end?
Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, just, you're so dirty. I can't take you anywhere. And then, so it's just definitely.
I didn't say that. You said it.
It's definitely filled like voids in my heart that I've gone through. So I can definitely say that that's helped like with that. So, yeah. Right now we're gonna go ahead and transition. Right now, I want you to grab that bowl right there. We're about to do
Where's
our
the bowl?
Fish.
Where's the bowl at?
Not that bowl.
Oh, okay.
This is our infamous fish bowl. I'm gonna just shake it up, and these are some Q&As that we have about today's topic. And I'll go ahead and go first. Let's see what we got. All right. So, and then this one goes to you, Nathan, and you, Kevin. Do you think people should experiment with drugs? We literally just touched on that. So maybe you can answer that and elaborate that.
Depends on the drug and the person.
Okay.
Because different drugs affect different people in different ways.
Okay.
I've met people that can't smoke weed. They don't like it. It hits them completely different than it would hit me. It's the same thing with everything. So that's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah, it's true. I do think, like he said, I can agree to an extent that it is based on like the individual.
Well, it's just like how they say they were like, oh, shrooms or acid that causes schizophrenia, but that's not the case. It causes it in people that were already predisposed to schizophrenia, so it can trigger it, but that person would have already had it regardless.
Okay.
So it doesn't cause it, but it can trigger somebody who was already predisposed to do it. So like, but you don't know that, that
I'm gonna rebuttal
is...
for you just a bit. I think, and to an extent, I think it's good that you're advocating and bringing exposure to something that might have happened before that. But I don't want to misconstrue or kind of minimize the issue at hand of saying that doing drugs cannot cause certain effects, because I do believe they have a big effect in your life that can increase the chances of certain things. I'm not saying that someone probably didn't have it necessarily before, but I do think for someone who didn't, you can build up the side effects that could affect you to having ongoing things even off the drugs. Don't you agree?
Again, it would be something that you're already predisposed to, and I believe somebody has to be a strong-willed and strong-minded person,
Okay.
to be able to actually do something like that. Like,
Okay.
with a lot of stuff, but I mean, I would say that with experimenting with the drugs too. Like of course, kids are doing it and teenagers are doing it, but like I wouldn't want if I had a kid, teenagers to do it. Like if they're 18, 19 and
free will,
I'd be fine with you telling me about it and doing it. Like that's fine, like that's your choice, but at that point you've already kind of developed your character and your personality, and at that point in time, like if you're a strong-minded and strong-willed person, like yeah, anybody can fall like victim to stuff. But again, that would have already been in that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I couldn't say. I would say probably no. I wouldn't advocate people to try drugs.
Okay.
But if you're the kind of person that is strong enough to do it.
True. Okay.
Yeah, like I am.
Okay. Go ahead and reach in and just go ahead and read a question for our next one.
Sure. Come here, fishy.
Let's see what we got. I wrote these, so please forgive my handwriting. Do you want me to read it? I have to just rewrite the questions.
Do you think media has made it less of a touchy subject?
Ooh.
Media.
So as far as movies, I think like back in the day, media portrayed drugs as a very big ordeal, and I think over time it has definitely been more free, like more like casual.
Modernized.
Yeah, it has been modernized. It has been modernized. I still don't think I said that.
Modernized.
Okay.
Modern. There's
Moving
no
on.
N before the D.
Thank you
I
you
got
so
you,
much.
bro.
Bro, that's what you're here for. Moving on.
I'm gonna help you articulate.
Thank you. I think that definitely like as time has gone to more of a present, it has definitely been like not that serious use, and it's more popular in a way that it's like good, like MTV like promotes like everything
For
is
real,
like
they promote teenage moms and.
Can you clarify what you mean about like media? Like, cause you mentioned like movies.
So it can be like media can be on the lines of movies, music.
I think that's
things
different.
Like that.
I think you're thinking
films,
of pop. I think you're thinking of pop culture.
Yeah, you can't throw cinema into anything of glorifying drugs or anything. Cinema is
okay. Well, I'm not trying to say like that. I think I got up more so of what the question is.
Well, that's why I'm asking if you can
There's
clarify.
a culture shift for sure.
Okay.
I mean,
are you talking about like social media?
No, like just like regular media, like itself, like outlets. To an extent, I don't want to like dive into a rabbit hole of like touching like on all these type of things that it can be associated with, but more so focus on like media networks, like news,
fake news.
Yeah, fake news, and like we said, the example of MTV, because I don't want to like. I mean, if we say film, it just dive like endlessly. But with that being said, I do agree that since in present time, like it just makes it so like norm, like norm of drugs is very normal, and acceptance in comparison when we were kids is very
when
taboo.
it's been legalized in a lot of states.
I mean,
too,
do they
so
even
like,
still do Dare? Like real talk? Like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there was some fool doing Dare like right outside my gym. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, damn, Dare's still around. It's like 2003 or what?
That's funny. So yeah, that definitely kind of touched topic. Let's move on to
another fish in
question.
there.
Let's see, fishy. Ooh,
Hey, come on, you can't survive outside of there.
Do you think drug using is the same like drinking or drug? Do you
It
think
is
drug
the
using and
exact
drinking is the
same thing.
Alcohol's a drug.
Alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
So, would you agree? So for me, I drink. Now that I drink that I would never do drugs, and
You
I
can't
think,
say that. That's a contradiction.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna let you guys put that in my mouth. I'm gonna continue to say that proudly, and I'm never gonna do drugs.
Okay.
So I can't let you guys take that from me.
Sure.
Words are powerful, and when you put
words
something out there,
words are very powerful.
You
gotta
set your
put
own
some-
narrative though.
yeah, but you got
Sure,
to
no, but that's what you believe. So
Yeah,
that's
that's my-
cool.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can have that belief too,
Yeah.
but when you say it to me, I have a different way of thinking.
I feel you.
So I don't think of you any different. I don't think of
Okay.
you like as a drug addict or a druggie
No,
or
no, no,
anything.
no.
But alcohol is way worse than
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of drugs.
Like what I was saying, like when you, like for me, I drink, but I would never do drugs, and that's just my per se. I very I have a very thin line when it comes to drinking too.
So you say that you won't do drugs, but what's your definition of drugs?
Like just any drugs, like weed.
What about over the counter?
Those are drugs.
I mean, you
What
guys
about prescriptions?
like in the like. I don't want to like.
Benadryl.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
wa-
saying is like people have different.
No,
ideas
I
of
understand,
what
but I'm
drugs
just
are.
saying
Like I don't think of weed as a drug.
I know that. What I'm saying, back into the question, let me just finish real quick. So, I particularly don't think that I will ever drink. And I mean, I drink, but I would never do drugs. Like over the counter drugs, yes. Drugs that are illegal. I just want to clarify that. So, I don't want to like nitpick or anything else. Like drugs that are.
Is weed illegal?
No. I mean, I would still never do that. That's just not my thing.
Okay.
It can be somebody else's thing. I'm not knocking anybody.
Sure, none. People don't have to do it.
Yeah, but that's just
That's
my
cool.
opinion on that. What about you? So you saying that they just fall in line completely the same, right?
Oh, I mean, definitely. It's, I mean, worse than a lot of the drugs that are illegal. But, I mean, look how many people get killed from alcohol-related deaths.
I know.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's gross. But, hey, it's so ingrained into human civilization and culture that it's something that is never going to go away. They tried with prohibition, and even that didn't work. They did prohibition with all drugs, and it hasn't worked. So that's why they're slowly starting to legalize, a lot of them, because they realized that didn't work. So yes, alcohol is a drug, the same as heroin's a drug.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna, man, like alcohol is something else, man. Like people like can get
People
out of
do
control.
stupid shit, and they don't act like themselves. They don't
Yeah.
remember.
Don't remember, just belligerent. Just
See, that's
out
the
there
thing
crazy.
is I could sit here and get stoned out of my mind and know what I'm doing and be completely, maybe not coherent like in all sobriety, but I still know what I'm doing and I still have control over myself. But I mean, and you can't smoke yourself to death. There's not been one overdose from weed. But you can drink yourself to death, and that's the scary part.
But
is
when we
that-
say drugs too, we can't just limit.
no, we're
weed.
not just saying
We
weed.
have
I
to
mean,
talk about like
there's
other things.
way
'cause
worse
there's
shit.
a lot of negative
Sure.
effects that I also want to expose that drugs can too. And I think
that's why there's levels to this shit.
yeah, there's levels.
There's levels
There's
to this
definitely
shit.
levels. And I think that if you're gonna be in the safe zone, per your like opinion, I think it sounds like weed.
There's
will
a
probably be
safe
that
zone.
choice.
Safe zone, I would say. Again, it's not safe by health standards with this, but I'd say like like your weed and your alcohol is kind of right there.
Yeah.
And then you got your like acid and mushrooms and Molly. People do that pretty regularly. It's pretty normalized nowadays. And then you got like your cocaine and your like like opiates and
Oh, I don't
That's an epidemic.
and then like heroin and which is also an opiate. So I mean,
Okay, let's go on and answer our next question.
all right, let's get this fish.
Oh, there's like only one left.
All right. What positive effects have you gotten from drugs?
I gave that to the wrong
Really
person.
Pretty good. Again, depends on the drug. There's certain ones that have a stigma for a reason. But for me, like I'd say weed, definitely great effects. For myself, again, I know people that it affects terribly. For me though, it calms me down. It is a way that I relax and again think of things differently. Like I've been completely pissed off or or sad, and then smoked, and then just thought of it completely differently after that. So it's really good with perspective. Same thing with acid and shrooms. When I've done that, I mean, it's not something crazy. Like, I'm sure if you take enough of it, you'll have your crazy out of body, like, you know, stuff that you hear about. But if you just take like that normal amount, like, you know what you're doing, you're coherent. It's just really trippy and wavy. And again, you just think like you're in your mind more than anything, just thinking about stuff. And but you're completely happy though, like, about it. Like, I was, at least.
Have you ever had like a negative like scenario happen?
No.
And oh, okay.
I've had some of my really good friends have it. Like, one of my best friends, he had a really bad acid trip one time, and he would never do it after. I told him, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. So, like, if you did have a negative scenario that happened, I guess a positive that you could take out of it is the learning to not do it again, or the learning to,
Sure.
you know, to think about not even touching that again, and, you know, just staying away from it.
Yeah.
You learn your lesson.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Sure. It's just like when you get too drunk, you know you're not gonna drink that much again. You might, but you know what's gonna happen now if you do. So you reap what you sow. You know the consequences going into it. So I mean, with that, I get you.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. We're going to move into our last Fishbowl question. And it says, oh, this is about vape pens. Vape pens, good or not?
Good. Wait a minute. But if it's that, like, you know, like vape, like the giant, like, box, and they're like, you know, like, those guys are tools.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are tools.
Well, there's like I would say there's 3 of them, right? There's those giant like what is it? What juice or whatever they smoke
like
juice?
E juice.
And
or
then
whatever.
there's nicotine, right? Which I always
they
see
put
like
it into the juice.
Oh, okay.
It's like in different like milligrams and stuff. Like they have like like they have none, and then they have like a little bit, and then like 100 times what a cigarette has in it or some shit.
It's
like,
to wean people off, right?
supposedly.
Yeah. But I guess
Supposedly. It's just another market now.
yeah. Well, I guess
to wean people off, but they're making like 100 milligrams. Probably not that high. But.
teens or something, like, you know, there's all these like ads and stuff to
Well,
get
that's
them off.
more like they're doing the flavors and stuff, but they actually made it illegal now. They're like regulating hardware.
Crazy.
Like they can't advertise like flavors and stuff, and they can't sell them at gas stations or something like that. So it's pretty crazy. Did you hear that they made it illegal to sell any tobacco in Beverly Hills?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Except for like there's like I think 4 or 5 like really high end cigar bars.
I would
that
assume
that they said they have exemptions, but that's it. Like you can't go to any gas stations, nothing, no tobacco.
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for being on the show. Do you have any last thoughts?
No, man. I hope I've broadened your perspectives. On
You did. It was
stuff.
very
Yeah,
good.
it's good, man.
It's so good seeing you in this light.
Transparent. It's really transparent.
Transparency,
Gotcha.
man. Thank you so much for just being open with us, and thank you for being here.
Anytime.
Kind of let people know.
Anytime, bud.
Love you, bro. You're so good. Let's
Alright,
go
man.
on
You
to
just
last.
gonna leave me hanging here?
Oh, sorry. He's dapping you guys, so they can't see that. All right, just gonna end it with some thoughts. Drugs. I mean, drugs are crazy, and being someone from a background who's been through so much with drugs, it was really somewhat challenging and scary to talk about these things. But thank you guys for just letting me have the opportunity to be like that. You know, if I can just leave you guys with final thought is that make your own choice from this. You know, whatever you've been through. If for my case, I use that to motivate me to not go to a realm, but also learning from a different perspective that even if you've been through that, you can be strong enough to withstand, and also make your choice to do good or make your choice not to necessarily do good, but necessarily if you do fall down, get back up and just keep going. Thank you guys so much. This has been great. Stay tuned for next week. I'm really excited what we got in next week. I want you guys to go ahead and I'm going to send out the topic next Wednesday, and I want you guys to ask questions. Thank you guys so much. And this is Robert Smith with Transparency.